So this was a framework we saw yesterday. If I go get users, not get users. Okay. So we had something called simplebooks.java. So here we did yesterday. So we have seen a number of things: create order, update order, delete order, get the order, create the client. All these things we have seen yesterday. Okay. So today I think I've asked you to do the homework about REQRS, but I think nobody has done that. So I'll just make sure that you guys understand it. So you do. So yeah, this is the thing which we saw yesterday. Let it run properly. So it is running. Give it a second. So for those of you who have not come yesterday, so it got stuck in a give it a time. So it's creating a client still. So try here one pass, and we got all the results which we wanted. And also we have saved everything in the report section. So if you go to the reports, let me expand it. Let's see today's report. If you want to see the today's report, right click on the project and do refresh of it. So this is done today, and you can see open with web browser. So this is what we saw. Okay, today we'll see little different. Today we'll see instead of one test case here and number of test cases for create order, update order, but we'll see for REQ area since we'll add an API key in the backend. Okay, we'll do today's session based on that. I thought today we'll do GitHub and we can run with through and also Jenkins stuff. But yeah, we'll dedicate today's class for that. Maybe tomorrow, day of tomorrow, we can do the Jenkins one and also GitHub one. And we can have two more sessions for doubt clearing, or we will try to make one depending on you guys, how much you guys can ask questions. Okay. So any doubts in this sales framework? I think except Dharni, I think people have attended, right? Dharni, you might go and see the recordings. That will be helpful for you. I think Rajesh, Manju, everyone was here yesterday.
Yes, sir.
So guys, in the framework.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what doubt you have?
No, sir. No problem.
Oh no, that's okay. Good, good, good. So let's start with today's framework. Okay. So I'll explain manually what we are going to do today. I just open the Postman. You guys have to bear with me. I think my laptop is behaving so weirdly today. It might take a while. It gets stuck. So if you remember, we did REQRA API test, right? So entire collection we added based on getting a specific user, list the specific user, create user, update user, get user details, delete user. And we did run through a collection, and we had something called run, and we added our select file. We want to do a number of things. Let's say I'll just add this one, passing the data. Okay. Job title, job reduction, click on continue. Click on run RQRA API test run to see. So it cleared everything and took 130 milliseconds. Okay. Similarly, what we have done here, we will do the automation work for all the things. Okay. You guys have to bear with me. You guys have to be aligned of how everything is, how everything will do. Okay. You ask doubts in between. I will start how we have done yesterday's framework. One by one, we will done. Okay. So if you remember, we had something called RQRS automation. We had added only one test, that is get user test.java. Okay. First, what we'll do, we will start from the basics, something called, let's say, in the main resources, let me add config.properties. So how do I add config.properties? Click here, file, config.properties. Okay. Click on finish. So if you guys feel in between, okay, I'm going a little faster, or if you want more explanation, let me know. Okay, that will be easily understandable for me also. Okay, so let me write this base URI. So I'll do one thing for what and all we have added in previous member. I'll try to copy that so that it will save your time and so that I can add many scenarios there. So let me go to this config.properties and close this. And instead of capital I, I'll just write base.uri. So we'll do something different here. So it doesn't matter, still it's a key. You can see the color, still it's a um, value. Okay. It should be HTTPS, I think it's colon double slash reqres dot in. Okay. So when you log into reqres, you can create API keys, n number of API keys you can create, and you can delete API key also. Okay. Let me add API key here. So that I don't have to add all the time. So let me go to test, com.test, get users data. Let me add this API key, which I have created previously. Okay. And let me put it here so that I'll use it in the future. Okay. Let me close this. Now let me close this also. Now, you tell me guys, once I have added the config.properties, what is the next thing I have to do? Sorry?
Config reader, properties file reader.
Configure, because you have to read this file. This is how you have to develop a framework, guys. First, understand. Okay, config first. First of all, you have to add pom.xml since you have already created pom.xml in my previous class. So we will not do that. Okay. So this one we have created in a previous class in REQ automation. So n number of things also we have added. That's fine. First pom.xml, then again comes config.properties. Once you have created this one, we have to create config reader. So for that, we have to do package. So main.java, com.utils. It will be in the utility section. So in the utility section, we'll read something called config reader.java. Okay. So I'm creating from scratch, guys. Okay. Only few things I'll copy, but but everything else I'll just copy try from here. Okay. So so if you remember config.java, let's create config.java. I'll just write static properties prop. So it will come from the properties. If you don't have this, you can import it. Just hover here. It should directly understand by itself. Hover. See java.util.properties. Good. So once you get a property, you can write try and catch block, try, and then followed by catch. Catch will always have an exception of C. Okay. In the exception, you can write e.print stack trace. Now, here what we'll do, we'll also write one method. Okay. So here, public, see, I'm always defining different logic. Whatever the logic you feel, you can add in your framework, which you're going to show. Okay. Here I will write config.reader in different way. Maybe if you see books reader, where it is config reader, somewhere in the titles. Here it will be in different logic. Let's say I have written a method here. In this method only, I have called try and catch. Maybe In this, I'll call a method in different way. Public get, I'll just add here get string key. So return type, I'll write it here. Before that, I want to write everything in the class itself. But class, if you just write without a method, it will not work. Okay. Either you have to write a method here, or you can easily write a block. Maybe this one, it's a little advanced Java. Okay. But you can easily get it. Okay. There's something called static block. If you want, you can just write it here. So it will be like this only, static block. That's it. Just open bracket, close bracket, and it is in static, which means it is inside the class. Got it? This one's a little advanced Java. It won't be asked, but if you want, you can note it down. But just I added so that people will understand a little bit more. Okay. Input stream is equal to. So input stream, just hover it. It should identify input stream. If it doesn't identify, we have to write some other logic. So it is not identifying. That's all. That's not an issue. I'll just write it here. It comes from import java.io.star. So if you just add star, it should recognize input stream. So input stream it recognizes. So I'll just copy this class. What is the stream? Dot class dot get class loader. So dot get resource as stream. Here I just write config properties. Now, instead of writing here, so I just explain the previous wala and also this one. Okay. Let me save here. Let me write semicolon here. Okay. Let me go to okay. Okay. Let me write it type here so that I can avoid the error. See, just write return suspend since it's string, so it will return a something string value, whatever that is, string value. Okay. So if I go to my previous framework which I've created and the config reader, here I have written like file input stream, and then it will take the exact path of the properties. This will give the framework. Okay. If you don't want to give this, if you want to write static block, you can write like this. So config reader, see config reader, it's a class. Okay. Class has dot get class loader dot get resource as stream. Okay. Now, where we have added here main dot resources. Now, go inside this method, open declaration. Now, it is taking input stream as a parameter, and the return type will be open stream. So it should find a stream or a resource, which is config.properties. Now, it comes with the class. Let me go a little up. Okay, let me go total up. Let me come little down. Oh, okay. It comes under class loader. Okay, if I go here, so get class loader, in that get resource input stream, I'm calling one of the method. Okay, I'm giving config.properties so that config.properties will be read. Okay, so just having one more method. If you like this config reader, use this, or if you like this, if it is easier, use that. Anything is your wish. Now, since I've created a prop as a reference variable, I'll just write here prop dot. If I put dot, let's see what and all proposals it will do. I just have to use load because I want to load my config.properties. Today it's getting stuck a lot. Okay, dot is means this only I have to load. That's it. So here I have to write, I have to take as the input key. Then I have to get a property. So prop dot, I'll call this get property of. That's it. So as soon as it's gets the function and the return type is prop.get property, it goes to static block. It has the prop declared here. So it comes here. Prop already loads a config.properties, and then it will give the value for this particular key. Understood? Little different, but just for your understanding.
Why should we write that in a static block, sir?
Okay. So in our class, I haven't thought of static block. Okay. Non-static also we can write. But if it is non-static, how we are we calling config reader? If you see in a previous framework, since you're not there, you might not understand, but just understand this. Okay. If I go to my tests, see here, we are directly calling config reader. Control F. Let me write this config. Okay, let me go to base. See, directly we're calling config reader. Okay, and if since it's a class, since it's a static one, or if you go to config reader.java, so config reader, and then it will take the static method dot get property. Okay, let's say if it's non-static, to identify for the class, you have to create an object. But you might think if you go here, it is order flow, sorry, base.java. Here is also not already non-static method, but accessing a non-static method through a class, again, we have to create a variable. But we want just to get property of this configurator. That's why we create a static method here. Okay. Now, this is just another version how we can create a static block and call that variable prop to load in a static method. Okay. What if I give a non-static block? Okay. Then it should throw an error. You tell me why it will throw an error if you create a non-static block.
It is a static block, so that
Okay.
throw.
You guys, okay. If I write something here non-static, can I access in static directly?
So I can't get your point, sir.
Okay. So let us write non-static block. Okay. Something here. Okay. Now in this, I'm just writing, let's say this one entire thing. So this entirely is a non-static block. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Think this is just like public void blah 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 something. Okay. Now here also I have removed the static one. Okay. Now once I remove the static, so class is always with the static one. So if I just give data type and the variable name, so this one is okay here. See, it will work here. But in static, it will not work. Because static needs to, for accessing this, it has to create a object. How it will create an object? So again, I have to write here config reader. Wait, I have to write a class config reader are equal to new config reader. Okay, so then I have to write re dot prop. And then so how do I call re here loaded? Then I have to add this re loaded in the block. So it should be something called re dot prop dot load. Okay. So now I can use the static and a string method. So I'll just write re dot prop dot get property key. But still, you understood? We have to write like this if you write a non-static block. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So
Got
this
it.
will be like a mess. It is almost more like this only, no? We are writing a static method, we are writing a line catch here. So always having a static block or a static method is more than similar. Blocks are way faster. It doesn't have a return type, just like a string, less like an object, non-static and a static block. Okay. So if I remove this and if I add this static wala, okay. Now if I add here, since static block needs static variables, right? And also we'll remove this one. Okay, we have to remove the entire thing. Okay, now RE we don't need. So this is a lot more easier to understand and a lot more simple.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and also we are using input stream. It is not file input stream. Okay, if you go inside this, so this is abstract class. What do you mean by abstract, guys? Is it complete abstract or partial abstract? What exactly is the complete abstract?
It will have methods without implementation.
Yeah, what do you call that? Interface?
Yes, sir.
So abstract methods may have unimplemented, may have implemented also. Okay. So that is called abstract. And abstract class is not complete abstraction. Interface are complete abstraction. Now, here, this is input stream. I'm just using another method or another class and a reference variable to just get config.properties, which is present here. So if you write anyway the test resources or main resources, it should get. Okay, it should get in the project. Whatever config.properties is. Okay. So whenever you're writing a framework in your projects, whichever you like, you take it. But understand what you write. Just understand what you write. If you don't understand and writing, that is not a correct way of writing. Okay. Now, the next thing what we saw is CSV file in our previous framework. Here, we'll not write CSV file. We'll write something called base test.java to understand base URI. Okay. Now, if I go here, I'll create another com package.com.base. So almost remember one by one, just one by one, you write each and everything. Understand what I'm writing, you understand what you're writing, and then write it. Okay. Let me right click here. New class base test.java. Okay. In the base test, what we'll do, we will read the config.properties. Okay. Now we have something called base config properties. Here we have base URI. We'll read this, but API key we need during execution. Okay. This one will not read from base.test. If you want, you can read it, but mostly it is required during the execution time. Okay. But it is totally on you, however you want to write it. Okay. Any explanation you can give. Okay. So I'll just write something called before class, and I'll write something called public void setup. Now, if you're not getting it, just hover it. You'll get annotation. Now, where is this coming? Always you have to understand. Go to pom.xml and you have to see this one, test ng. Now, remove the test scope here if you want. What do you mean a test scope? So wherever you see tests, right? Test resource, test only their test ng will be executed. But some of the places in main also we might need. Okay. If you add that, we only have test scope, or else you can have main scope also. Not an issue. Now, here I'll write something called rest assured dot base URI equal to. Now here I'll just write config reader. This is why we need have static dot. If I put dot, get of key. What is the key here? I just want base dot properties as this one, base URI. That's it. Done and that's it. See, this already read. Now my base test.java is over. Okay. Next one, what I want is log4j.xml. So this one also I'll copy from a previous thing. If you want, you can understand this. Okay. It's very, very easy. it has appenders, it has loggers, whatever you want, you add. One copying, because this one I found it very exciting, because I have n number of things. It will add a app.log for each and every date. For example, if you see my previous thing, yesterday we ran, and today if you browse the log, see yesterday's date and today's date. So this is what important for me. So previous, this one I found it in the online, it was really, really good. So that's why I added it. Today we ran here at 9:37. Yesterday we ran n number of times. So 22:45, 22:48. So n number of times we ran. So this looks actually very helpful, and actually it's very, very important also for you to understand. Okay. So let me right click here. So okay, let me open this also. This is log.j.xml, but I need to open it. Open with plain text. And also I want to open this REQ areas in a plain text. Okay, let me copy the entire thing. Let me add it here. So always remember, appenders ending, loggers are important. Okay, configuration starting, configuration here. That's it. This line is very common. It should, and if you don't have this XML version and coding UTF, it will not identify it's an XML. It looks more like with HTML. See, open bracket, close brackets of appenders. It's more like HTML. That's why we have to add this first line. Okay, that is very, very important. Now, if we add log4jar.xml, what is the next thing we have to do? I explained you guys yesterday. What is the next thing? What is the next file? What's the next file? What's the next file?
Extend report, sir.
Extend report, but extend report will come. If you have this file, you have to read this file also, right? How will you read it? Always remember, go step by step. If you have logger, we need something util called logger file, right? Logger util.java. You guys remember, forgot? Okay, no problem. Let's go create a class logger util.java to read a log4j2.xml. Logger util.java. So in this logger util, what we'll write, guys? Very simple. Just we create a variable, or we'll create just a method, how we have created there, just like that. Okay. First, what we'll write? We'll write a method. Just this method we'll access. Okay. Public static logger. Now this should be recognized. If it's not recognized, not an issue. Get logger. And here we'll write a class as a data type and CLS as a reference variable or a parameter in this case. Okay. Now let's see if it identifies here. Hover. Okay. So it identified a number of things, but I want log4j logger. Okay. Get logger needs a return type. Just write a return statement. Here I want to write null. I want something called log manager dot get logger. Dot get logger of CLS. That's it. Okay. Now in class we'll call logger util dot get logger. That's it. This one we'll call in a file. So this one will be from log4j.xml. So actually this will not read the file, but as soon as you write this, you have to understand, okay, we should have something called logger util. Okay. Next one you'll have to understand something called reporting. Extend report, if you remember, in the class we have write something called reporting. So this is also a different style. Okay. If you remember in Selenium, I taught you guys something called listener, where we combine step logger and extend reporter. We'll not write listener. These are all framework, guys. Nothing is correct, nothing is wrong. It all depends on how you design your framework, optimizing it, expertly design. It totally depends on that. Okay. Now I'll create a class here, extend manager. Okay. extend manager.java. So very simple here. Again, if you guys remember, I'll just write here static. Again, static variable extend reports. Okay, reports extend. Now, what is the first thing I told you yesterday? What's the first thing? If extend equal to null means if there is no report. Do you think a report folder is there here? Do you see any report folder here? Do you see any report folder? Do you see any report folder here? Guys, you're there. I'm audible.
No report files.
No report folder, right? So if there is no report folder, then what we have to do? Okay, simple. Then we'll write a simple method. What method will write? Public static extend reports got get report. Okay, so we'll just write it here. Public static extend reports. That is a report. Get report is a method. So extend report is a return type. So extend reports. So here I have to write a return type. Return extend something like that. Now, if extend equal to null means if there is no folder created, you create a folder. First, we'll write string time stamp. If you remember last time we created this timestamp equal to new simple date format of this. Now just hover it. It should be recognizable. Yeah, it is not recognized. That's fine. Let us add here dd colon underscore hours minutes seconds. So it should recognize now. Format date, but we don't have date here. That's why we'll write new date. So this will create a report in this format. What format? Okay, just hover it. Okay, just hover it. We should identify the date. If it is not identifying, not an issue. We can identify the date by ourselves. Okay, it's a util package. Just go here, import java.util.star. That's it. It should identify. Okay. Dot date. That's it. Don't tell me it is not identifying that. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, fine. Identify. Now, if you see the reports here, it created report by the dates here 2026 hours, 22 hours, minutes, 48 minutes, 52 seconds. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Based on that's why we write it here. Now, if it is written, next thing what we do. So extend Spark reporter and just write Spark equal to new extend Spark report path. So I'll just write here before this string report path equal to. I want to write how my reports would look like. Okay, it should be in the reports folder if not created, and it should write something called reqres API report underscore. Now here the tricky comes. Now here I want something called concatenate with timestamp, and it should have dot extension of dot html. It is a HTML report. So this is my end happens. So I'll just write here report path. That's it. After this, just hover it. Let's see if it identifies. Yes, it identified it here. Add it here. Extend equal to new extend reports, extend dot attach reporter. That's it. When you say attach reporter, it will attach the report to the, like this. It will attach the report here. Just write the Spark. So any doubt in this file? Any doubts? All good? Awesome. So if you're okay. Now, so if I open my Postman again, let's open a Postman again. Give it a while. So if you remember, I ran this collection, right? So for the list user, sorry, create user, I had something called body. So this one is there. Okay. For update user, I had something like this, right? So we need a payload for create and update user. If you remember, in our previous class, we wrote something com.payload for these three. Similarly, we'll create com.payload in the main.java. So reporting is done, utility is done. Right click, package, okay, com.payload. So before adding this, any doubts? I'll just give a few minutes for you to ask questions if you have 1 or 2 minutes. Anything in this?
Sir, can you please show me high level, step by step framework details?
Yeah, sure.
Means in the left side, if you made one folder, not so. Can you please show me the high level, sir? Then we'll get to know what
Yeah.
right and next.
Yes, this is my framework from here to here. Any questions? Take your time. I'll just give like 10, 14. Let take tail time like 10, 15. I'll just add the files here. What are the file you want? We can see what on the file we have created. Config we have created. Log util we have created. Log4 fine. This one we have created last time. That's it. We have created few only. Okay. If no doubts, we'll continue. Okay. Let's go on. So once you've created extend.manager, so next file which we will create, mostly it is the main file. Okay. Let's go to reqrs dot. Okay, sorry. We have to create a payload one. Okay. So class, since here we have something called create create user payload, update user payload. Okay, two class will create. So create user payload and update user payload. Only those two files. Update user payload. That's it. So in the create user payload, you have to see the first one. And let's say we have job and name and job. As simple as that. We have to have one JSON file. Okay, let me go. I think I should have. Okay, let me go to pom.xml. So this is the this is the dependency which we want to read the JSON. Okay. For example, if you have a payload, we need that in our req Let's open pom.xml for req it's there. Oh, it's not there. Okay. Let me just right click here. Sorry, not in dependency, after this dependency. Add this dependency, let the project be built. That's it, it built. Now let us go to create user payload. Here I'll create just one simple method. All this method we will use it. Okay. Public static string create user. So this one create user, we can call it from CSV file which we have seen in the previous framework, yesterday's framework, or else you can call it from here only. String name, and what else is there? Job. Okay. String job. So here I have to use something called JSON object. JSON equal to new JSON object. It has to identify this. If it doesn't identify, we'll write a. Okay, it identified. Let me hover it. So org.json. So create user, it has to have return type, just written like this. Now we'll write something. Before that, let me add here JSON. You remember, guys, how we'll write map? How is write maps?
By using put.
Ah, yes, we do use dot put, and in the put we used to write the name. For example, write name, and this should be from the user. What and all name you want, okay? And similarly, we'll just write job. It should exactly mimic this payload, guys. How we used to write the name and job title, updated one, dynamically we used to write data-driven framework. Similarly, we have to write it here. Name and job. That's it. Now, similarly, we have update user payload. Same thing, guys. Update user payload. Here, I'll just use the same thing here. Instead, I'll just call update user. That's it. Same thing we want. Instead of create user, I'll just write update user. Any doubts? So, okay, return type should not be job. Wait. Return type should not be job. So, return type should be JSON, but it has to be two-string format. Because that's a pattern the Java will understand. Okay. JSON dot two-string. Any doubts? Okay. All right. So last file which we have is, so main file which we want to write is reqrs user test. So if I go to com.test, here I just want to write maybe end to end. So I'll just start here. Class requires end-to-end testing. Okay, requires end-to-end. Now here you will see I'll write everything in one file, but I will write different categories of test. I'll give priority so that the generated extent report should be really, really good. Okay, first I'll get everything from here itself. See, logger log equal to, now want to write logger util dot. See, we have get logger of requires, not get class, requires dot, sorry, end to end. If I put dot, it will go class. See, I didn't write anything, it already identified here, but it didn't identify the logger. So, see, so it gives suggestion, now it added. All the imports I'll add by myself without adding myself. I will make sure I add here. So my Eclipse will make sure it identifies all the imports. See, extend report, it identify, just click on it, extend report, extend. Now, I want to create a test also. Extend to test equal to test. So here just cover it. It should identify. Now, here's I want user ID, and I want API key. So do we have Rajesh in the call? Okay, he's not there in the call. Good. So previously, yesterday he has the same doubt. He was not understanding how to write an API key. The same thing, use a string value and call it from the config reader.java. Okay. Now, first, before all begins, let me write before class. Before class, before anything starts. So we need an API key. Okay. So I'll just write public void. We don't want any return type. Report setup. So just hover it. It should resolve by itself. Slowly by slowly, we'll understand. First, where is my API key? Now, my API key should be read by config reader dot get. So I'll just write config reader dot get. String is API dot key. Okay. Now, since it's extend report, we have to always remember extend. We have to create an object of extend reports. Else it will not create only. Okay. So instead of creating new, let's write extend manager dot get reports. We have to call this before we do anything. Now, let us write our first test. What do you think our first test is? Create user. We'll do create user, update user, get user, delete user. This way, just getting specific users, one get request, one post request, one patch request, one delete request. Okay. So that we can complete all the scenarios. Is it all right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'll write something. This one we don't have seen. Maybe in one of the class I would have shown you. I'll just write something called priority. Means after the before class in the test priority, only this one will execute. Nothing else execute. Okay. Public void create user test. So now test identifies here. Over it, click here. Now, if I want to create a user, what and all I need? See here, in headers, we need API key, correct. In body, we don't need anything. We need URL, that's okay, sorry. Create user, go. In body, we need something. We need something called API key. The scripts and all, we are validating, that's totally fine. That's a different topic. Okay, we need a post method and we need a URI. Good. So if you guys remember, post comes in when, right? And also comes a URI. So given has this one, headers body, then has validation part. Okay,
Yes, sir.
good, good. So now if I go to my where is that? Where is that? Okay, okay, I've opened simple books. So this is end-to-end flow. See the similar thing which we had given, when, then. Okay, access token we have added. Similarly, we'll do a given response, same thing we'll add. Okay, let me copy this, but here it will be little different. Let me go to REQ. Okay, let me add this entire thing. Control V. Here. Now, it's not a client payload, it is a create user payload. But before that, I'll write here first. Before creating a test, first I have to write a create a test. Test equal to extend dot create test. What is the test name here? Create user test. So this one will create individual tests in the report, guys. That is what very, very important here. Individual tests it will create. Now, as soon as I create this test, I'll write something called try. Everything should come in try. Till this point, try. And we should have something called catch. Catch exception E. E dot print stack trace. Okay, now. So let's go to Postman again. So given should have a body. Yes. And header should have an API key. Yes. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Let me go here. So here, if I have to write, so create user payload. So if I have to go here, I will just copy this. So I have to go to body, create user payload. So let me remove this dot create user. So let me write this one as Manju, not API key. Here I will write something called, um, let's say, developer. So Manju, let's say he joined as a developer. So create user payload. That's it. So there is no semicolon here. Now that's in the body. Before body, we have to write header. Header has this one. Okay. What is this? Exactly we have to write, guys. See, X hyphen API hyphen key. Close it, close this. So here, let me go here. X hyphen API hyphen key. It's API key, which we have added here, which is reading from configurator.api key. Okay, that one we have here. Now, when has post, but what is the URL here? API users. That we have to
Sir,
write it down.
you
Yeah, go on.
written X hyphen API equals you written, sir, not I.
Good. See, you guys are alert. That's what I want. Okay, good. So the status code, once I run this, what is the status code, guys? See, I just run it here. 201. Okay. Now, 201 is there. I want to extract something. No, I don't want to extract something. So I want, but I still want to do something. So let me write here something. In the create user, wait. Name will come, job will come. Okay. Now I'll let me validate that. If I have the body name, I should have something called equal to. If this doesn't come, we have to do something. Wait. Equal to, it should come as Manju. This is our validation, guys. Okay. So equal to, it's not taking up. So then we have to write something called, we copy this. Wait. So let me expand here. So given header has a body. So let me put header in the indentation part. Header has a body, create user. Then we need a when. So let me put semicolon here. Okay. So let me end this. Now, response become dot then. So since I'm not getting equal to, I'm just adding it here. So it's still identified. Okay. Response dot. Okay, let me put this semicolon. Then I'll put again response dot then. Okay, wait. It should recognize. If it doesn't recognize, we'll add the import. Wait. So I don't want to extract the response. Oh, see, it is identifying. Wait. Equal to. Wait, I should write something called equal to. I don't think I should write. It should identify. Semicolon. So name, next one is job. It should come as developer. Okay, where we are getting this response? Okay, where we are getting this response? It is io.rest_assured.response. So we don't need response from, okay, we need response from there only. So client payload we don't need. There is no something called client payload. It should identify. Would I make a mistake? Response body. Oh, Hamcrest. Okay. I did not have Hamcrest. Okay, nice. So this is a problem. I'm just having a not null value. If I put dot star, it should take it. This see, it took it. No. So this is what something, well, guys, see, that's the problem. Okay. See, it identified. Name should have name, and Manju should be validated. Okay. As soon as you get it. Now, let us save this token, not token. Maybe let's get the user ID. Something called ID. But it is not essential though. So let's take update user. Okay, we need user ID and an update user. Good. So we might have to save ID. To saving that, let me write a string user ID. So I just have to write get string of ID. I think ID only. ID. So I just write ID. So log.info, I'll just write user successfully created with user ID. User ID. I'll just write user ID. Now, I think we have created user ID in the before itself, right? As a global variable. Okay. So then we don't need a string here. So it should become a global variable. Okay, with user ID. So let me copy this and just write it here. Same thing. Client created successfully. Yes. With user ID. Good. Okay. Now, this is one proper test. Okay. Let me see. Let me copy the entire thing. Let me now paste it here. Now I'll give the priority to, okay, this is new thing, guys. Now we have called update user. So let me write here prior to update user test. Here I'll just write update user. Same thing in update user, what and all we have to do. In the update user, we have to write something called put patch. Okay, patch we'll just write yeah, patch. Okay, update user test key should be there. Here something called update user test. Instead of create a user, it should have something called update user only, no? Wait, what did I write here? Sorry, update user payload. Update user payload dot. So it didn't identify. Okay, maybe if I put dot star, it should identify. See, update user identified. Good. I want to update Manju as a QA tester. Okay. So now Manju, let me update Manju as a QA tester. No. So same thing we'll use. I'll update the user. Just click on send. Okay. We got updated. See, Manju got updated user. Now, here we want status at 201. Yes, 200. So we will add status of 200. And we will use header as this, body as that, status code as 200. And we have to make sure if I add put here, let's see end. So what is the user created here? Wait, 282. 282. Okay, if I just write it here parallelly, let me write the same here. Instead of name, I'll just write Manju. Here I'll just write developer. Okay, let me run this. So Manju developer 976. Okay, now so here I'll have 976. Okay, now Manju. Let's say let me write QA. Okay. Total, no? Why it is in different color? Manju job developer. Oh, it's not text, it's a JSON. Good. So if I send it, what will happen? See, so here also we are getting name and job. Okay. So then we have to write here name and job as QA tester. Okay. Now, do we have to save the ID for the delete user? Yes. We have to save the ID, but the ID is 2. Okay. So I will also write here something called test.parse. Log.info. So user created successfully with user ID. Also, we are adding the job title, right? Created Manju as developer. Something I'll write it here, okay? And I'll write the same here also, okay? Copy, paste it, created Manju as QA. Okay, developer, right? The same thing I have to copy there also. Okay, let me copy it. Let me paste it here. So user updated successfully. Successfully updated with user ID. Updated. Here it is QA tester. Let me drink some water. Where is water? QA tester, QA tester. So Manju becomes a QA tester here. Good. Updated. So any doubts in this, guys? So wait. What is the patch? Okay, it's ID. So we have to identify with ID. So we have to add an ID here. So in patch, just write user ID. Okay, user ID. Now, last but not least, a deleted user test. Now, we have to delete this user. Let me delete this user. See, no content. So I can use this as user ID, right? User ID. Let's see if I write like this. That's good. So I'll copy the same thing. I'll give something as priority 3, but I want to delete the user. Okay. So I'm just writing all the methods, guys. Priority 3, delete user test. So delete user test. So delete user test. So in the delete user, what and all we need? We need only key, no body, nothing. So wherever the body is there, delete it. We don't need body. And we need delete user ID. That's it. So it should be, instead of patch, it is delete. That's it. So, and it should be 204. So what is a patch one, by the way? So it patch, it's 200 only. So this one will have 204. That's it. Here response dot then will not be there. And I don't have to write user ID here because we will not get any user ID. No content will come. Here we don't need to log info. Okay, wait. I need this one though. Okay. So I'll just write user deleted successfully. User successfully deleted with user ID. Okay. Now, any doubts in this program, guys? Any doubts? See, it all added by itself only. Create, delete, update. That's it. Create, update, delete. 3 things. Shall we run this and see? Right click, run as, test any test. Hopefully everything passes. Let's see. So 3 runs, no pass, 3 failures. Okay, this is what we want. If it's a failure, we have to identify why it failed. So null point exception cannot involve Java util properties load Java input stream because utils prop is null. Awesome. No. No. This is what we are waiting for. So here we have got config.properties, right? In config.java, it says it is not able to read this. Okay. Now we have to identify this config.properties. Why it is not able to read? Okay. If it is not able to read, we have to do something here. Just write, create a class. Properties. So then it should be a static variable. Even if it comes in static block, this has this class and that's why it will load. Now, it should work now. Let's see. That is called Indian Jugaad. Let's see. We will try to run it. Okay. run as testing a test. Let's hope, finger crossed, it has to create user, update user, delete user. Now it got failed again. What are the failures now? Oh, wait. First. Okay, exception fail, create test. Expected 201 but got 403. Now, what is the issue here? API.key, config.reader. So X API hyphen key. That was the first one. And it has to be a API key. Correct. Okay.
Sir, in Postman, you write a job role is a QA, but in Eclipse, you written as a QA tester.
Yeah, that's okay.
That is
That's
okay.
okay.
That's okay. Okay.
So that's not an issue. That's not an issue. So API key body. Okay, let me see whether it is reading API key or not. Okay. Let me write here system or dot out dot printer. Let's see. Or maybe I'll just write log dot. Okay. Log dot info. Maybe I'll understand it better. Whether it is getting API key or not. If it is not getting an API key, then we have to do something. Okay. Let me copy this. Let me write this API key. So here API key equal to plus API key. Let's see. Because it is a global variable, it should read it. But if it doesn't read it, we are getting 403 because API key is not passed. So if it comes null, then we have to do something else. We have to change our logic of the config.reader property. Let's see. Did we get okay, why it went to delete this directly? This is the priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, no? Weird. Priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. Awesome. Okay, let me run once again. Run as testing test. Come on, guys. First, it is going for delete user, update user, create user. Okay, if that's the case, what is the issue here? But before it should have a report setup, right? Before all class. What is there in base before class? Configure.get. Configure.get. Somewhere some issue is there. Wait. We have to identify this. Is it run all? Oh, it's shit. Okay. Sorry, guys. There should be extend base test. You're not extending a base test. What's the use? Extend. Okay, so base test extends. So we have to inherit this. Let's see. Let's see if it works. Let's see. Right click. Run as test. Let's see. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. One pass, two failures. Okay, what exactly passed? So got first the delete user passed. Again, why it is going to delete user? So wait. Okay, let's okay, let's throw exception here only. Throw E. Throw E. Let's throw E here also. Okay, now let us run it. So we have done all the jugaad, yeah. Let's see. Delete is getting passed. Create. But create is not getting passed only. Why? What is the issue? This is update user. So, okay, wait. Did it create? Oh, I should also have after class, right? That's all right. We should have after class also to make sure extend flush is there. Public void tear down after class extend dot flush. So this will actually create here extend report. Okay. Now let's go back to our main understanding. What is the issue? We have to understand test test extend test extend test extend test. So public void everything. It's public void only. We don't need a written type. Okay. Let me stop up to here. Let me put a comment. Now let me run this. Okay, wait. What is error? Okay. Let me put a comment here also. Now let me run this. Run as testing test. Let me see whether it creates a user or not, irrespective of delete and all. So create user only. It's issue happening. 415. 415. What the hell? 415. Okay. So maybe this header might work. Let's see. Header. You want content type. So content type comma application slash JSON. Okay. Let's see. If it works, it's good. If it doesn't work, then you have to do something. Okay. Right click, run as test and test. Come on, guys. Come on, come on. It should not be 415. It should not be 415. Okay. Now we got something. Okay, 200. JSON part doesn't expected Manju actual developer. Okay, good. Something it came. So name Manju. So it got created, guys. So this was the culprit. So body name was Manju. Job was Q engine. Okay, how did we give name? Okay, this is job. That's a problem. Okay. So job here you tried. Here also you tried job. So there are few issues we created, right? This is called debugging, guys. If you don't understand, debug. Okay. Doesn't test. It should hopefully work. Fingers crossed. Work. Good. So now let's go to second priority and then delete also. Okay. Fingers crossed, guys. It should work properly. Now, right click, end to end, run as testing test. Good. Since it was getting an exception, it was going to different priority. Okay, 2 pass, 1 failure. Which one got failed? Failed in the update user. Delete, create, update user. Okay. So update user also failed because we have to add this key. Content description. Good. If we add this here, it will pass. So basically what it is asking, Postman it is adding by itself, but here it is saying add something called content type. And it wants us to add application JSON. This is what it's expecting, guys. See, we still will get it, okay? So now it will, if I run this, it should pass. Run as test. Come on, guys. Come on. It should pass. See, everything passed. Let me right click here. What is refresh? It should have reports. Let's see the latest report. Open with web browser. Good. See, create user, update user, delete user. Good. User 8261. Okay, it didn't read here. We'll read it again. So none. Okay, let me read it properly. Okay, maybe we didn't get it here. Okay, good. So user ID get string of ID. It is not an idea. When you post, it's an ID only, no? Wait, this is a create user. Update user. Oh, I don't know why it didn't get. It should have saved, no? User ID. Okay, wait. It got in the first time, 261. Second time it came null. Weird. It's an ID only, no? Third time it will not run only in the ID delete. Okay, let me run once again. Let's see. I want to see whether it got an ID or not. So API key it got pass. Okay, let me refresh here also. That's also an issue. Okay, open with web browser. 618 null. Okay, maybe this one is wrong. Maybe what we're typing is wrong. Because yeah, okay, good. Update response. So we'll add a different object, guys. Okay, in that way we can easily understand it properly. Update response, same object again. Say other issues might come. Okay, tap it. Okay, here also tap. Now, so deleted user. Okay, to deleted user response. Deleted response dot then. Okay, right click, run as touch and test. Fingers crossed. Good. Let's see if everything passes. Good. All passed. Right click, refresh. Okay, open with web browser. On 647 null. Okay, good. So again, I have to see this why it's coming null. Successful update though. If that's the case, we will use string. Oh yeah, wait. Again, we are doing wrong, right? Update response. Okay, we got update response only. This is in post. I added post patch. Oh wait, this is in the update user, which is a patch. Yes, patch doesn't have an ID. Patch doesn't have an ID. Okay, now I understood everything. Okay, so response. Let's keep it as a global variable. Okay, response equal to null. Okay, now this response we will just add it here. That's it. So response will become a global variable, and then they should be like this. So instead of adding calling here, we will directly use that ID only, user ID. Yes, we will not call here again. Good. So if I just run it again, hopefully this will wait. One more time, we'll see response is a global variable, and then we're giving a response. Good. Update response. Good. Update response should also have a Q tester. Good. Awesome. Test.pass. Okay. Now run as test engine test. Passed. Good. So let me see the report. First refresh. Okay, let me open it. Open with web browser. 445. Awesome, we got it. 445 QA tester developer. Got it, guys?
Yes, sir.
Good. So last but not least, I want to run it through Maven also. Okay, if I see pom.xml, I don't have some peculiar things here. The build wala. Okay. So I just have to run it here. Pom build. I just have to copy this from properties to this build. Copy. And I have to go to my pom.xml, where it is here, pom.xml. Go dependencies, add this. Okay. And last but not least, create one right click file. We have to write something test ng.xml. Save this, finish. Okay. Now, this test ng.xml should be equivalent to test ng.xml. Open it plain, copy it, close. Okay. This test ng should open properly. Open with plain test editor. Saved. Now, instead of order flow test, it should be REQ, RES, end to end. That's it. Right click the test ng, run as test ng suite. It should run everything properly. Good, it passed. Now, open the command prompt, cmd. Good. So now I have to go to this test ng file, right click, properties, copy till this point. Go here, write cd. Now clear. Okay, cls is the command. Okay, good. mvn clean test. Now it should properly run. Maven should be installed by default, and also we have tried everything in there. Good, everything is created. Good. So just have to do here right click. It closes. Right click, refresh. So it created. Right click, open with web browser. See, everything awesome. Good. So that's it, guys. Awesome, it's ready. Um, let me go to my file. Java config payload, user payload. Yes, and then I don't want to type this. So now so after this, I think after the classes, I'll delete this API key. So you guys create your API key and then run it. Then I'll upload this also to the GitHub, and then we'll see CI/CD. Any doubts till this point? All this this is my entire REQ till this point. Okay, from
Understood,
here.
understood, sir. But only one thing we need to practice, sir. Actually, it will take time, sir, because it's a big framework, I think, sir.
No problem. You guys practice it, okay? But you guys understood
Yes,
the flow what I explained?
Yes, sir, understood, sir.
Awesome, awesome. Okay.
Yes,
So yeah, we'll do. Only you are there, huh? Nobody is there.
yes, sir. All are exit.
No problem. Let me stop the recording.
Okay.
Okay.